Welcome to week 4 of our Revelation Bible reading plan. Woohoo! Today we are going to be reading out of chapter 14. And I think that what we see in this passage is another interlude in the story. We've seen multiple interludes throughout the book thus far, moments where John interjects a passage that's supposed to help us frame up what is happening and understand our place within it. And here in chapter 14, I think John is placing before you and I a decision. We have a choice to make. If you remember where we left off in chapter 13, we were just reading about the dragon and then the first and second beast and their followers who bear the mark of the beast. That number that all of us get spooked out by, 666. They have this mark on their foreheads or their right hands because they've decided to bow to the beast and follow his ways. But then right when you turn the page, and as John turns his eyes, we're presented with the Lamb and his followers. And I just want us to picture this as like a stage that is set with the two opposing sides, where we get to see the people who are actors in this great confrontation, right? On one side, we have the beast and the dragon and their followers who have the mark of the beast on their heads. But then John turns and looks and he sees the other group. There's the Lamb standing on Mount Zion with all of his followers who have another mark on their foreheads, but this time it's the name of the Lamb and the name of the Father. And I think John is presenting us in chapter 14 with the choice that is issued to all of creation, which is, which side are you going to choose? By all worldly counts, the side of the dragon and the beast seems more powerful, right? Like a dragon versus a lamb, and followers who can use the forces of evil and destruction and chaos versus a group of disciples who are going to lay down their lives in sacrificial love. It seems like the Lamb and his followers are toast, right? But then something astonishing happens. We see in verse 6 that 3 angels start flying overhead, and they give 3 different messages. The first angel says, "Fear God, because the day of his judgment has come." Then the second angel flies overhead and says, "Fallen, fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great." And then the third angel flies overhead and proclaims that all of those who side with the beast and have his mark on their foreheads will fall with him. And so against all of the odds, despite the fact that the dragon side seems like the winning side, the angels come and proclaim that the opposite is true. That before the battle between them has even begun, it is inevitable that the side of the Lamb will win. And so we are presented with this choice. We know who's going to win the battle. It's the Lamb's side. But it is also undoubtedly true that being on the Lamb's side of the equation will not be easy. John has been building and building and building this theme throughout Revelation that those who follow the Lamb, it's like picking up your cross like Jesus tells us to. Those who follow the Lamb conquer by laying down their lives. They conquer through sacrificial love and proclaiming the good news of the gospel. And that means that we can almost be certain that following the Lamb will lead to suffering. And the question we face is, am I willing to go through the suffering to get to the inevitable victory? Am I willing to lay down my life to follow the Lamb? John says that the 144,000 are the people who decide to follow the Lamb wherever he goes. And if you take nothing else away from chapter 14, let it be this. To be a disciple of Jesus means to follow the Lamb wherever he goes, and where the Lamb goes is to self-sacrifice. And so which side will you choose? Will you follow the Lamb wherever he goes? The Lamb goes to the hurting and the broken and the lost. The Lamb goes to sinners and tax collectors and outcasts. The Lamb goes to people who are on the fringes, who are hurting and in need of help. The Lamb goes to the cross and offers himself up for others. Babylon is a place of great comfort. The dragon can offer a lot of worldly security. But the Lamb will win in the end, and so the question we are presented with is, will you follow him wherever he goes? Will you wear the blood of the Lamb and proclaim the word of his testimony even unto death, with the assurance that one day he will win and God will make all things new? The call that John ends with in this passage is for those who decide to follow the Lamb, to endure, to persist, because it's not easy to follow the Lamb. It's a hard choice to make. And so for you, what does it mean in your corner of the world to follow the Lamb wherever he goes? Where is the Lamb going in your life? And will you make the brave decision to follow in his footsteps? May we be filled with assurance that though the way of the Lamb is not easy, we will be victorious. It will be worth it in the end. Take care, friends.